You're being told this morning nearly 60% more children and adults are seeking help for eating disorders across our county. This is in the last year alone. Somerset and Wessex Eating Disorder Association, known as SWEDA, warn it's just the tip of the iceberg, with 35,000 people here estimated to be living with some kind of eating disorder. But there's also a campaign to improve support, with many saying people are turned away because they're not underweight enough, and others saying it's a lottery depending on where you live. Pippa Rifka has this report.
Bulimia has taken over my life. I've had to take a break from work because I have to exercise at least 3 times a day, and I've suffered depression because of this and everything. We just need so much more help, not to just be put on the scales.
That's Imogen in Bath, who is one of a growing movement of people trying to get treatment of eating disorders improved. She and others argue currently if you're not underweight enough, you're not able to get the right specialist treatment. Hope Virgo nearly died from her anorexia. She's been working with Bath MP Vera Hobhouse to improve things.
Got told basically that I wasn't thin enough for them to offer me anything, and that I had to basically manage on my own or lose all of that weight, and then I'd be able to get that proper intensive treatment that I really needed. And after that appointment, I left, I felt horrific for the next month, really suicidal a lot of the time. I spent a lot of the time crying, and I didn't actually know how I was ever going to kind of battle that voice in my head and get better on my own.
While in Somerset, there are no actual hospital beds for eating disorder patients. If you're admitted, you'll be moved to Exeter instead. But in 2015, the government allocated £30 million towards tackling eating disorders over the next 5 years.
Pippa Rifka with that report. With me in the studio, Paula Blight, who is from Somerset and Wessex Eating Disorder Association. Good morning.
Good morning, Claire.
Thank you for coming in. You're reporting this big increase then that you've seen over the last 12 months. This is people coming to your charity for support. Why do you think that is?
I think it's a lot of things, really. I think for years eating disorders have been really hidden and very much underlined, and people just keep it very quiet. We've been a charity now for over 25 years, and we've seen a huge difference, certainly in the past couple of years, and certainly in the last year, as we've increased awareness of who we are as a charity. And I think those two things have culminated, and we have seen a huge increase. I mean, you've heard from Hope this morning, her experiences, and she's just one of many people who have those experiences, not only in Somerset, but also, across the whole of the country. And it's a very sad state of affairs that these people with the highest death rate within mental health often are just not getting, the services that they require.
So why is that?
I think it's a mixture of things. I think that the money's not there. I think the understanding's not there. I think it's the people that shout the loudest get the best services. And unfortunately, people with mental health issues don't shout about it. And that's why we need campaigners like Hope and other people out there to talk about their condition and to come forward. Because as a charity, we're not a campaigning organisation. We're a very small grassroots charity based here in Somerset, and it's not our role to campaign. We're just here helping people on a daily basis to manage and to live with their condition, and hopefully over time, they will recover and live a normal life as possible.
£2 billion announced in the autumn budget for mental health services, 30 million over 5 years from the government towards this issue. Have you seen any of that money? Will you see any of that money?
I wish. No, we haven't seen any of that money. And, I am working on, talking to the Somerset Partnership, talking to the clinical commissioning. But they've got so many other issues going on. They've got deficits. I am, talking to the relevant people. But I mean, I wish that we had some of that money because there is so much more that we can do. And also, we're currently funded decided by the big lottery, and that funding does run out in 2020. And I'm concerned as to where we're going in the future. And we're looking at different ways in which we can work and different ways in which we can fund the organisation for the future. Because as you said earlier, it's the tip of the iceberg. And it's, where is this going? We don't know.
Why is it? Can you tell us why patients from Somerset end up in Devon for specialist hospital treatment?
I think it's where they're commissioned from the NHS. I mean, all different areas have different rules in what they're doing. Beds, I know, that are commissioned in Devon. But if we were in South Wales, for instance, they commission beds in London. So in a way, we are better off. But we hope, as a charity who's working with preventative, that people don't go to the beds. That's what we want to do, is we want to keep them out of the hospital, catch them early, work with them so that they don't.
So what needs to happen for that to happen?
Well, if we're seeing the increases, we need to see some more funds from the NHS coming our way, and we need to continue doing all our preventative work. We work in schools, we work across in the colleges, we work in all the colleges across Somerset, to raise awareness so that people are aware that if they have a friend or a loved one, or if they're suffering with the condition, where to get help and how to get help, because not everybody's ready for it at the same time. So, it's when they're ready, come and see us, and we'll direct them as to, how they can get better and what they can do next.
You talk about these figures coming from the last 12 months. Thinking ahead to the next 12 months, do you think it'll just get worse?
I think it will increase, yes, but we've got systems in place so that we can cope with that. I'm looking at new ways of working. I'm looking at digital ways of working, because Somerset is a vast county, and we have our base at Shepton Mallet, which we know is not accessible to everybody. So we're looking at ways in which we can use the internet, ways that we can use Skype, ways that we can use social media, in order so that people don't feel that they're alone. And, and if they can contact us by those means on a very low level, and then, as they get used to us and as they know what we do, then we can build it up. The other thing that we've done is we've made a beautiful film about SWEDA, and that's on our YouTube channel. And we were fortunate enough to be nominated for the Charity Film Awards. Absolutely. It's like the Oscars of the charity world. And we're really excited about it, because we are up with the big boys here, with all the bigger charities. I think last year Save the Children had a wonderful film about and it was Dominic West, the Hollywood film star, actually did an overview. But unfortunately, we don't have those budgets.
Well, I mean, we can. I don't know. We could loan you out Simon Parkin, if that's any help. We might be able to add a few numbers there.
Yeah, but we managed to do it ourselves with our all in-house with volunteers, and we're absolutely delighted. But in order for us to get to the next step, we do need the people of Somerset to vote for us.
How do they do that?
So they go onto the Charity Awards website. And then we are in the long form film, which is over 10 minutes, and we're from 0 to 5 million. So obviously we are playing with the big boys here, and they just look for our video, which is SWEDA Here to Help, and vote for us.
Brilliant. Well, best of luck with that.
We'd be delighted. Thank you.
And thank you very much for coming in today. Obviously, if you think that you need that extra bit of help, you need some guidance, some support, contact SWEDA. You have your website?
Absolutely. It's SWEDA. It's www.swedauk.org.
SWEDA. Thank you so much, Paula, for coming in. Good to see you.
Claire.
Paula Blight there, who is from the charity. So, yes, if you think you can benefit from their help, do get in touch.